Congratulations, Cam. What was your initial reaction when you got the call from the Bengals?
Oh man, it's just exciting, man. It's a blessing to be in this situation. I'm just blessed to get picked up, man. Just a bunch of emotion.
Did you have any pre-draft talks with the team? I know you went down to the Senior Bowl and won defensive MVP.
Yes, sir. I talked to Coach Duff a bunch of times. I think we talked about 2 or 3 times after the Senior Bowl. We stayed in contact throughout the whole process.
Cam, you're a guy that has pretty good motor. Well, what are the Bengals getting with you, not just as a player, but as a person?
Yeah, I mean, as a player, I mean, again, my all, man. I think I'm versatile. I mean, I think I can affect the quarterback from a variety of alignments. And then I think I'm also pretty good against the run. But as a person, I mean, again, a guy all in with the city. I mean, just happy to be part of a great organization.
Thank you.
Cameron, I don't know if you need it or not. Go ahead, Butch.
No, I'm just going to say some of the adjectives the scouts use to describe you: a bully, violent, loves to hit. Is that a fair description of your game?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, football is a violent sport. That's the only way to play it. So, I mean, we're going to be big bullies and we're going to be nasty. We're going to hit people for sure.
Cameron, what did the Senior Bowl do for your confidence? I don't know if you needed that confidence boost or not, but what did it do for your confidence, especially being named the MVP of that American team?
Yeah, got you. I mean, I'm very confident in my ability, so I think it just reassured things for some other people, not necessarily myself. But it was definitely good to get out there and compete against very high regarded guys playing in Power 5 conferences to show my game translates on that level too.
Yeah, Cam, what specifically did you want to show scouts at the Senior Bowl that if there were any questions that you could answer them?
Yeah, I think the main questions coming in was, does my game transfer to a Power 5 level? How would I fare against some, the bigger offensive linemen? So I just feel like me coming in, checking those boxes, showing I can play with those guys too. I think that was big for me.
Cam, have you ever met Joseph Asai, the player from Texas that was drafted just ahead of you?
Oh, no, I never met him. I'm sure we'll be in contact here soon, though.
How often did you go inside, Cam? I mean, they talk about your ability to rush from the inside. How often did you do that?
Are you talking about the Senior Bowl or just in general at Tulane?
In general at Tulane, and then in the Senior Bowl too.
Yeah, I mean, at Tulane, so I started off my first 2.5, 3 years playing an inside forward technique. So it wasn't until my senior year I really switched outside. But at the Senior Bowl, I mean, they kind of moved me up and down the line. I don't back away from a challenge. So if that's where they wanted to put me, that's where I was going to work at.
Do you have a preference?
No, sir. I thought I can get to quarterback from anywhere.
Is that your biggest strength, in your opinion, your position versatility?
Yes, sir, definitely.
What other strengths are in your game? Where do you think you show yourself the best?
Yes, sir. I think I'm good with my hands and play with good leverage, and I think I play hard from first quarter to the fourth quarter. So I'm just constantly coming at you.
What was your recruiting story like leading you to Tulane?
Yeah. So I think I was a 2-star recruit on one side, 3 on another. But coming into my senior, at the end of my senior, I had my 3 biggest offers were Tulane, Georgia Southern, and Western Kentucky. So, Tulane being in the biggest football conference, best education, I just kind of thought it was a no-brainer.
Were there any players that, as you got really into the game of football, that you either emulated or admired on the defensive line?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of watched a lot of guys, man. Of course, now Aaron Donald's one of the best. Always studied him. But I like those versatile guys who can move up and down the line, so like the Cam Jordans, the JPPs, the guys like that. I kind of just study a lot.
Thank you.
Cam, how many meetings did you have with the Bengals, and did anything stand out about meeting with the coaches and talking with them?
Yeah, I'll probably say about 2 or 3. With Coach Duff, just how genuine he was about the game of football. He was real intentional. You could tell he knows a lot about the game. Seems to have a great atmosphere up there. So I'm just blessed to be a part of the family now.
Do you remember anything about me? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you had to pick something that you need to work on in terms of your game, you talked about your strength. Is there anything, when you give an honest evaluation, you think you need to work on most?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm far from a finished product. So, I'm looking to get better in every regards. But, you can always grow as a pass rusher. So that's been the main thing I've kind of been working on.
It seems like your eyes have lit up every time there's been a mention of Coach Duffner. Did you two make a connection in those various meetings?
Yeah. I think we hit it off well. I mean, yeah, we talked a bunch. Through Zoom or on the phone. So yeah, definitely we hit it off well.
Who is more relentless, your motor or Coach Duffner's tracking you?
Now I'm gonna have to go with me, but it's a close second with Coach Duff.
Any more questions for Cam?
Yeah, where are
Cam,
you now, Cam?
I'm home in Atlanta, Georgia, with some family.
Cam, do you currently have any friends or guys from that you grew up with? I know Georgia's a big football state. Any of your friends in the league right now?
Yeah, yeah. I'm drawing a blank. Uh, there's a lot of guys in this class coming up that I kind of grew up with, and from being at Tulane too. Darnell Mooney, he went with the Bears, so that's probably one of the closest people I am with guys in the league.
From a schematic standpoint, your conversations with Coach Duff, do some of the things you did at Tulane transfer to what the Bengals are going to ask you to do in the National Football League, or is there going to be a big learning curve?
I think some of the things are going to translate. Coach Duff talked about, doing some of the same things I did this year, whether it's maybe dropping a little bit rushing from various techniques. So I think a lot of the things I did this year were transferred over.
You've gone from 2 or 3 star recruit to NFL draft pick. What does that rise mean to you?
Oh man, it means everything, man. It's been a lot of long, hard days, hard hours put in, on and off the field. It's a blessing to be here, but I mean, it's just the beginning. I got my head back down. I'm working for more.
Cam, mom and dad, obviously parents are just as excited. Talk about the anxiety of just waiting to hear their son's name called.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to them, man. They did a great job raising me. It's just as much their accomplishment as mine. So I mean, they were sitting with there, waiting with me, and doing all that. So I mean, I'm happy for them, because they did a great job raising me.